Hello, hello. Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the RFC Tuesday Podcast, the weekly show on the web where we invite the best and the brightest in the financial services industry and try to learn from their success. Kuya Ryan, naka-mute ka po. Yes, so everyone, welcome to the second episode of the RFC Tuesday Podcast, the weekly show on the web where we invite the best and the brightest in the financial. Oh. Yes. So this show is powered by IARFCPH, the Philippine chapter of the International Association of Registered Financial Consultants. The IARFCPH in association with is an association that is dedicated to the craft of financial consulting, and it is also the sole organization authorized to conduct RFC conversion courses as well as continuing education in the field of financial consulting. We are your hosts. I'm Lui Baarde, the founder and content creator of The Financial Passionate and the founder of Passionate Creators. Yeah, sorry po, nagkaka-technical difficulties na po kami. Yan.
So sorry.
Okay po.
I am Daez, a financial consultant and a chartered wealth manager as well. Good evening.
Ay, Kuya Ryan, yan. Narinig ko na rin yung voice ni Kuya Ryan. Hello po, Kuya Ryan.
Butterfinger, sorry ha.
Oo nga, narinig ko nga yung sarili ko nag-echo.
Nakinggan ko yung live.
Opo, yes,
yung live.
yes. Check muna natin sino, greet people na nandito sa live natin. Naka-live pa ba tayo? Hindi ko makita. Nawala.
Yes, sweet. Oh, si Richard.
Yes.
Nandyan na sa ating live naka-live cast na siya.
Yes.
John is joining us
Hello,
through
John.
podcast kasi he's having a little bit of issue with his ISP.
Yes.
So, will help us out. John, thank you for being in the background and helping us.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I just want to ask, kamusta naman kayo, diba? How are you? Hope you guys are safe. Arami nangyari since last tayo nag-meet. So I hope, if you're okay, message nyo sa amin from where kayo and we hope you're safe. Message na po kayo sa comment section. Apa.
Please shout out where you are from and we will greet you as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. Oh.
Pero sabi sa akin kanina, isasama raw nila tayo sa kanilang agency meeting.
Ooh.
Yung group ni Miss Stella Bernabe from Manulife.
Uy, wow.
As part of their managers meeting, I think, I'm not so sure, agency meeting siguro.
Oh, that's nice. Hello po, hello po. Anong team po yan? Anong branch yan?
Ang kanilang region head is Miss Stella Bernabe.
Hello, Miss Stella. Thank you so much. Yan, may mga nagko-comment na. You guys, yes, good evening. Hello. Hello, Miss Grace. Hello, John. Ayan. Hi, Ice. Hello. Hi from CDO. Glad you're safe, Ice. Ayan. Thank you so much. So, if you have time then, please follow us on Facebook dito sa IARFCPH, IARFC Philippines Facebook page. So, kung meron kayong questions all throughout this session, just comment below and then address na namin ngayon. So, Kuya Ryan, ito yung part na to, on to the show. Introduce namin. Kasi this week, di ba, we're talking about Irrevocable Life Insurance Trust or ILIT, di ba? And I just want to introduce to you our very, very, very special guest. So, our special guest is Gamaliel Ariel Benavides, or more affectionately known as Boyet, or Sir Boyet sa amin dito sa IARFC, our very own president, diba? He graduated from the Ateneo de Manila University, a bachelor's degree in management noong 1987, and also he started his career in Citibank with extensive tenure with the bank's treasury operations, and capital market services departments. In 1994, at the height of the Philippine stock market's bull run, he joined Abacus Securities Corporation as the operations division head. Sensing the start of the stock market's decline, he rejoined the banking system in 1996 by accepting the invitation of Banco Santandar Philippines, one of the foreign banks that opened as a result of BSP's bank liberalization program. In 2003, BDO acquired the banking license of Banco Santander, and Sir Boyet was appointed as the head and the head of BDO Private Banks Wealth Advisory and Trust Group. Grabe. Sir Boyet significantly contributed to the development of BDO Private Banks products consulting and the increase of its asset under management from 20 million to 300 billion pesos. Wow, bigat ni Sir Boyet. Prior to his early retirement in 2017, Sir Boyet was seeing the product development and marketing division of BDO Private Bank. We were also happy na when he retired early because he can have full attention as president of the IARFC, our very own president. But in less than a year after his early retirement, the banking world would not permit us to have him for ourselves. He was asked to join the Bank of Commerce as the Chief Trust Officer of their Trust Services Group. Grabe, bigat yung credentials si Sir Boyet. And despite his busy schedule, he finds time for IARFC's endeavors. Please, everyone, welcome our very own IARFCPH President, Sir Boyet. Hello, Sir Boyet.
Good evening, Louie. Good evening,
hello po.
Ryan.
So happy to have you here, Sir
To
Boyet.
everyone who's following us.
Yes po. And I'm super excited po kami, Sir Boyet, sa topic natin today. It's about life insurance trust, di ba? Ano lang po, basic lang po, especially for people na starter pa lang din dito. Can we just define it first, Sir Boyet? What is life insurance trust, and how does it work?
Well, let me just start first with what a trust arrangement is. It's a tri-party agreement between the settlor or the trustor, which is the client, a trustee, which can be a law firm, a bank with the trust license, or even a private individual, and the beneficiary. So what happens is the trustor transfers the trust assets to the trustee for the beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
And upon the demise of the trustor, the settlor, the trustee would now have to execute whatever is indicated in the letter of wishes that has been written by the trustor.
Mm.
So in a sense, sabi nga ni Dr. Chu before one of our lectures in RFC, it's a loving trust.
Mm.
So you can transfer assets while you're living, or you can transfer assets after you pass away. So the life insurance trust is actually one of the variants of the trust. It's one of the uses of the trust. What it contains is basically insurance policies, whether it's fully paid or you're still paying for your policy. You can put it in a trust. A trust is not just for the rich. Everybody will find a use for a trust arrangement. So if you have trust policy, you have insurance policies, which probably you have at least 2, 3, or 4. First question would be, in the event that something happens to you, would your beneficiaries know where those policies are? Do they know the claims process? Do they know if those policies still have a cash value? So one way of consolidating all these policies is to put it in a life insurance trust.
Mm-hmm.
So you instantly build an estate. So it just contains life insurance policies. We call it a dry trust because it doesn't have money yet. So when the eventuality happens, the trustee would now dispose the cash depending on how the trustor intended it to be used. Normally, when you buy a policy, there's an intention for it. It's say supposed to finance the education of our children. It's supposed to be given to uh, people who took care of me. So these things can be built into the life insurance. So it extends the life of the trustor, as they say, beyond the grave and beyond the policy.
Galing. So, sobrang beneficial for minors talaga yan, no, Sir Boyet. Like, especially,
Yes.
no? Kasi kaya yun, dun nauso yung parang yung trust fund talaga eh, na kinilalak yun until they're parang certain age. Tapos sila bahala sa conditions to unlock it, no, Sir Boyet?
Yes. It's very useful for minors and persons with disabilities. Those who cannot take care of themselves.
Mga Sir Boyet, yung mga individuals na special need na beneficial life insured, di ba?
Yes. Because normally you get a policy to insure them, right? But they don't have the capacity to manage the finances um, on their own. So what we know is that they have a caregiver, but who will now dispense the salary of the caregiver, the payment for the medical expenses, payment for the therapy expenses. So it's a trustee who does that.
So basically it funds yung gustong mangyari nung insured, di ba, sir?
Yes.
So ako, I can relate to it kasi I have a child who was speech delayed. Siguro kung hindi nagtuloy-tuloy yung pagiging speech delayed niya, yan, yung trust would be very important in my financial plan kasi paano yung therapy niya, paano siya magsasal, paano kung hindi siya nakapagsalita, di ba? So who will take care of that child? So it's very good for those families who have loved ones who have special needs. Tama ba, Sir Boy?
Yes. Not just special needs, but to put it in practical use, you have children who are still minors. You don't want the proceeds of the insurance policy to just go to them lump sum. Diba? They wouldn't have the capacity to be able to manage it properly, or baka lokohin sila kung sino and kunin yung pera, which is really intended, say, normally for their education. So what the trustee would do is to make sure that it grows so that the education of the child will continue. Kasi di ba, you use insurance as replacement for the parents later on. But part of that replacement mechanism is the proper disbursement of the fund to make sure that it really goes to paying for tuition, paying for allowance, paying for medical needs. So this can be built into the trust.
So tama ba, Sir Boyet? Dito papasok yung gamit ng trust sa, di ba, sa insurance planning and risk management ng course natin. Pino-project natin na yung insurance would be used if something happens to the life insured, gagamitin ito age 25 halimbawa ng anak niya or beneficiary niya, or kung may special need na yung bata, even until the lifetime of that child, di ba?
Correct,
So, it puts direction on that fund. So, kesa maubos at ma-deplete siya na maaga, magamit siya for the intention that the life insured how he wants it to happen. Tama?
Yes. Yes. First would be to protect the trust fund. Protect it against inflation. To make sure that the projections of the trustor or the client and the financial plan will be able to meet the requirements of the child. And second would be the proper disbursement. That's why it can be used as a very effective mechanism for preserving and distribution by the trustor. Kasi the policy itself does not provide that mechanism. It will just pay out, diba? So how do you now provide that facility for the insured or the parent to realize the original purpose of the policy? That's what the life insurance trust will do.
Ako lang may question lang ako. Kasi you mentioned a while ago that a trustee can be anyone bukod sa bank. Pero
Yes.
what would be the advantage of having a trustee, a bank as a trustee as opposed to an individual? Siguro, kasi not all people, even as RFCs, not all of us RFCs are even aware what a trustee is. So we don't, not everybody knows the advantages and disadvantages. So just to enlighten us all, ano bang difference, Sir Boyet?
In general, anybody can be a trustee. It's a person whom the settlor trusts to manage his assets. So it can be an individual, it can be an institution. The only difference is an individual may die and the trust collapses.
Correct.
Diba? So it cannot continue because it's attached to the life of the individual. But if it's an institution like a bank or a law firm, then the trust can perpetuate and can continue even after changes in personnel, kasi may natural success within an organization. So that's the advantage of having an institutional trustee.
So kapag institutional, sir, may naka-assign na trust officer, di ba? So
May
even if
naka-assign a trust officer, and even if that trust officer resigns or dies, you have the document that is handled by the institution. So whoever will handle your account will know what to do.
okay, so even if the original trust officer passes away nga, tama ka. So it can go forever practically. So kung ang trust objective mo, kumbaga, lifetime nung anak mo na may special requirement or kamag-anak na may special requirement. So pwede siya maging hanggat buhay siya talaga, masusustain
Yes.
yung pangangailangan niya ng trust program
Correct.
na yun.
That's on an individual basis, but you can create trusts also for families to contain their wealth to be passed on for several generations. So that's a multi-generational trust, which will manage the assets of the family.
But kahit ba, sir, real property pwedeng ipasok sa trust bukod sa life insurance?
Yes. Any form of tangible or even intangible assets. You can have a trust own a patent or a trademark.
Wow,
You can have a trust own property. You can have a trust own financial asset. You can put some people put their paintings, their collectibles inside the trust to be managed by a trust. If you look at the trust on an extreme case where it is managing the wealth of families, you have the Rockefeller Foundation, you have the Kennedy Foundation. These are large multi-generational trusts, and their assets are being managed through operating companies.
Okay, ang galing
So
pala ng...
the trust can really do a lot of things.
Wow. Ang ganda, ang powerful pala talaga ng trust, and they really work hand in hand with risk management. And I guess It also helps in estate planning, sir.
Correct. It's one of the tools of estate planning. Uh, in one of the estate planning lectures that I've conducted before, trust is one of
So sa,
the
sa
tools.
estate okay. Sa estate planning, sir, kailangan ba mayaman ka para magamit ang trust?
No, that's a common misconception. Everybody thinks that the trust costs a lot.
Okay.
It depends on the simplicity or the complexity of what you want the trust to do. If the most basic example of a trust that you find in banks is the unit investment trust fund.
Yan yung
So,
yan yung kami.
UITF, diba? So it's just pooling money so that you can grow your money over time. And the investment manager invests in bonds, in equities, in different types of financial assets. So that's the simplest example. And then you go to what we call a personal trust account. You can actually do your own selection of investments, and you can actually have the purpose of either growing it or saving up for your marriage or saving up to buy a house. And when you buy the house, you put it under trust. So there are a lot of practical uses, and it doesn't have to be as complicated as, say, the trust fund of Michael Jackson, the trust fund of Robin Williams. Diba? These are famous trusts that we know about and we read about. It doesn't have to be as complicated as that. It can be as simple as a repository of your insurance policy, so that if anything happens to you, your beneficiaries will know that they can go to the trustee and have the proceeds claimed for them. Kasi if you go, wala nang magsasabi kung sino ba yung ahente mo. Diba? Sino ko kontakin na ahente? Paano yung claims process sa insurance company? And then, anong gagawin mo when you finally receive the money? And hindi naman nakalagay sa policy kung bakit binibili yung insurance.
Correct. Oo, hindi sinusulat.
Hindi sinusulat yun eh. So, iisipin mo, para saan ba to? Diba? To be able to enshrine the purpose of the insured, then you can put it in a life insurance trust.
Oh. Okay, that's nice. It's very nice. Actually, sir, may may ibabato lang ako sa question. Kasi I had my first death claim early in my career na merong minor beneficiary. And my is ang tagal ng claim. So if I were to put the benefits of my life insurance into a life insurance trust, dumadaan pa rin ba sa korte yan? Kasi ganun yung nangyari dahil minor beneficiary. Tatlong claimants yun, dalawang bata, isa yung mother nung client ko. So yung dalawa, yung mother, syempre mabilis na nakuha. Pero yung may minor beneficiary, the first one got his claim after 6 months. Tapos yung isa after, I think, 1.5 years. So, does putting the benefits of a life insurance product in a life insurance trust minimize yung ganung klaseng problema?
Yes, but you have to assign the policy to a trustee. there's a process within the insurance company where you can assign a trustee, so that it's a trustee who now does the claims process. So, kung institution to institution, mas mabilis.
Yung sa case kasi ng client ko, actually yung mga tatay, yung mga kapatid niya, tatay ng pamangkin niya, mga trustee. So, natagalan kasi dumaan sa korte. So, dumadaan ba sa korte kapag
Kasi kailangan ng kailangan ng mag-appoint ng administrator tsaka ng guardian. Kung sino yung magko-control ng trust fund. So in this case, the trustor has already assigned the trustee as the fund manager for the minor child.
Question nga po, sorry, biglang nawala po, nagka-tech difficulties kami. Question po, Sir Boyet, bakit, di ba, kung it's that good and sobrang advantageous niya, bakit few people gumagawa sa kanya? And kasi di ba may perception na nga na it's for the rich. Pero ano pa po ba kaya yung barriers why a lot of people parang hindi siya ginagawa?
Admittedly, a lot of banks, although they have the product, don't offer it. Kasi walang pera dyan eh.
Yun.
That's the reality. But the more important thing is it provides value for people who have insurance policy, especially large policies, where they need it to be managed after they pass away. Kasi while the trustor is alive, walang ima-manage. It's a dry trust.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a safety deposit bank. You're depositing the insurance policy with a trustee. The only difference is that the trustee is recognized by the insurance company. So it's a trustee who will now file the claim with the insurance company later on.
May question po dito si John eh. When do people usually use the trust po? I think to make it parang more concrete, di ba po, we've established one parang scenario. Example like, if the person, parang if may iwan niya yung mga minors, di ba? For minors, advantageous ang trust. Meron pa po ba other scenarios bukod sa estate planning na it applies na parang good idea to set up life insurance trust?
Well, not necessarily a life insurance trust. No? You can set up a trust. For example, si John, kung gusto niya ikasal, in 5 years, di ba? So, pwede siyang mag-set up ng trust fund for the wedding,
smart.
for the honeymoon,
Yeah.
and to start up their life as a family.
Yeah.
So you can set it up, but it's a financial trust. So you fund it immediately. You can fund it
Through yung
one time, or you can fund it over time.
Yeah. Okay, tapos yung life insurance trust to be is parang dun mo inaalat yung life insurance proceeds in case something
Insurance
happens.
policies,
So wala pa
yes.
po siyang laman until may mangyari sa life insured. Yes po.
Wala pa siyang laman na cash.
Yes.
Ang laman lang niya, insurance policies.
Yes. Okay.
Instructions on how to use
And
those
your instructions on how to dispose of the fund according to how you intend it to be.
Yeah, like example, gusto mo every month bibigyan ng ganito kadaming money yung anak mo,
May
parang allowance. Yes,
Yeah.
agree. Yes.
And you can stipulate certain condition na kailangan ganito yung grades niya,
Smart.
dito sa school na to mag-enroll.
Yeah.
And on the extreme case, if it's not controlled properly, it will result in trust fund babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Ito yung mga mag-aaral na lang na mag-aaral, hindi na magtatrabaho,
Minsan nga hindi
mawawalan ng
mag-aaral
ambisyon.
magpa-party na
Kasi
lang.
alam nila may makukuha sila.
Yes. May sweldo na
Diba?
sila kahit walang gawin.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's why you have to talk to the client and discuss. Like, this is your intention. On the extreme case, this might be the behavior that might be encouraged. So we have to balance it off.
Yung effect nung trust fund dapat dinidiscuss din sa client.
Oo,
Yes.
correct. As a financial consultant, that's part of the job of of planning,
Yeah.
diba? It's not just computing for how much you need and where to put it, but also what type of behavior or type of value do you want your beneficiary to have?
Yeah. And also, I realize... go, Sir Boyet.
Sir, I think that's a realization for financial consultants. We don't just compute, we don't just select, we don't just execute. What more important, what we do is we pass on the values of the parent to their children through the financial path,
Yeah.
on how it's going to be executed, how it's going to be disposed, and how it's going to be transferred.
Okay. Ganda, no, Louie?
Yun
Ang
nga
dami
eh.
pala nagagawa ng trust.
Yeah.
Grabe.
Tsaka ang ganda rin po how, like, ang hirap kasi, yung iba kasi, since they don't know na nag-exist yung ganitong type of arrangement, possibly, baka binibilin yan. O bilin ko sa kapatid ko, or bilin ko sa... tapos, hindi naman din susunod, and then wala din written na, parang ang hirap nung, wala, parang peace of mind na rin. Especially for, alam mo yung mga single parents, or, di ba? Di ba po? So, ang daming, ito talaga, parang, bukod na may life insurance ka na, sure ka pa na no matter what talaga, sa mga anak mo mapupunta. At the right way pa, with your, parang conditions met pa, di ba po? So, ang ganda nun.
In my discussions of trust, I always use a very close friend as an example. She was a trust fund based baby, and it so happened that her parents died at the same time. So she was left with enormous amount of wealth, which was managed by a court-appointed administrator, which was their lawyer. Pareho silang walang alam. So, kada hingi niya ng pera, ibibigay. Gusto niya ng bagong kotse, gusto niya lumipat sa Forbes, gusto niya lumipat sa Dasma, gusto niya lumipat sa Sanlo, gusto niya mag-party. Release ng pera. By the time that she reached first year college, wala na siyang trust fund.
Oh my gosh.
So nasayang. Had it been managed properly, it could have been used by her new family now.
Yeah.
Now that she's married, diba? She wouldn't have to work odd job.
Tsaka secured na
Just
yung
to be able to
future
get by.
dapat ng mga anak niya sana, di ba? Yung education.
Correct.
Opo.
Yes.
Yun talaga yung alimin na tutunan ko with us, like financial planning for our clients eh. Kasi tayo yung mag-iisip yan kasi sometimes hindi pa nakikita at the moment. Tapos tayo yung nagbibigay sa kanila ng perspective na, ito yung mga kakailanganin mo in the future. May question po si John, Sir Boyet. Possible na po bang hindi makuha yung trust fund kapag hindi nakamit yung conditions? Saan po mapupunta yung money?
It will still be in the trust fund. But again, there should always be an exit mechanism. Kung hindi mapupunta sa anak, pwede nga exit mechanism mapupunta sa apo. So, that's part of planning.
Okay. Pag gano'n nangyari, Sir Boyet, kung sabagay siguro, may estate tax ba yun pag nilipat dun sa apo? Parang gano'n?
Doon magkaka-estate tax. Kasi taxable event yun. Pero, again, there are ways of doing a generation skipping trust.
Mhm.
But it will just skip one generation.
Yeah.
So, yung susunod, magbabayad na ng excess na.
Talaga magbabayad. Parang diniper lang.
Oo, dinifer lang ng one generation.
Galing.
And hopefully, has grown enough to pay for that estate.
Ang problema kasi is assets, especially financial assets and real estate, increase over time.
Yeah.
So, yung estate tax na ina-assume mo today will be different, say 10 years, 20 years from today. Do you want to transfer that tax burden to your children or to your beneficiaries?
Mhm.
May mga trade-offs yan.
Yeah.
If you do the distribution, you will lose control.
Mhm.
If you do the distribution later, your heirs will have a very big tax burden.
Yeah.
So which do you want to do?
Mhm.
May mga discussion points talaga.
Between the trust owner and the financial consultant rin, Sir Boyet, no? Kasi
Oo. That's why knowing your client intimately, ano yung values niya, ano yung gusto niya mangyari sa assets niya, and then ano yung values na gusto niyang ipamana dun sa mga heirs niya is part of the planning process. It's not just pamana ng pera, pero anong values yung gusto mong matutunan tsaka matransfer dun sa mga beneficiaries mo.
Yeah.
grabe.
Oo nga eh.
Ganda.
Like yung na-realize ko nga po like with this nga po like someone na can offer, 'di ba, insurance tayo. This is something na makikita naman natin scenario pa lang eh, 'di ba? They need it, and then at the same time yung distribution, iwas ng estate tax, 'di ba? At the same time, ano pa, 'di ba? Sa'yo din, may peace of mind ka na agad. Wala na din, 'di ba po, yung mga court proceedings, no? Wala na pong settlements. Diretso na po.
Kasi the trust, in my experience, has been considered by the court as a will substitute.
Oh, yun. Oh, perfect.
The court will respect
Yeah.
the wishes of a dead person.
Yes. That's true.
Okay. Ang ganda, no, Louie?
Oo. Ang galing lang kasi, I mean, ako, this is something na, kasi, di ba tayo sa RFC, we're provided with a lot of different tools, and as new tools dumarating, ang dami parang nakikita mo how it, parang makikita mo saang part sa case ng client mo, mag-fit everything, is marami na pumapasok sa isip ko. And ang dami ding tao na baka inisip nila, oh, okay naman ako, solve na ako. Pero ito pa pala will make it better for their mga apo, their children. So, ang galing. Sabi nga ni Homer,
And
galing.
you can use a variety of tools.
Yes.
There's trust, there's insurance, there's wills,
yes.
may donations, merong sale. You can use a corporation, especially now that the SEC has approved a one-person corporation.
Yeah.
And then you can have, on a larger, on a grand scale, a family office arrangement,
Yes.
or a family trust.
Actually nga po yung corporation, like lahat yan na-discuss nga po na sa amin ni attorney, kaya super ang ganda niya for everyone, especially kahit again hindi siya pang mayaman lang, basta you have you have assets and you have people you love na you want na okay after whatever man mangyari sa'yo, you need it and you can avail it, you can get it. So
Yes.
opo.
But ang consideration mo doon, it has to be an ongoing concern, meaning your children, your beneficiaries will run the company also.
Ito, kung corpo.
Dahil yung corporation, kung walang iti-train to run it, mamamatay rin yung corporation.
That's true.
That's why when you form a corporation, values formation is a very important part of it.
Yeah.
Oo. Para hindi masayang yung corporation.
Hindi ka build, expand, bust.
Yeah.
Yeah. After 3 generation, wala na.
Oo nga.
Oo.
Generation, ubus na.
Yes.
Yung ano ko nga po, ay sabi nga po pala ni Homer, ang galing daw, ganyan, sabi nila, dito si, hello Miss Jess, Hello, John, Miss Grace. Hello, everyone. Mayet. Ayan. So, with that nga din po, question ko lang po, Sir Boyet. So, example, ako insurance agent. Tapos, I want to set it up for my client na may, kaya sabihin natin meron siyang 4 insurance policies na sa akin. Tapos, gusto niya mag-set up ng trust. At paano po yung nag-work yun? Paano ako po ba mag-asikaso nun or siya po dapat pumunta sa mga trust companies or meron po ba?
Well,
ano po?
part of the planning as a financial consultant is, di ba, i-consolidate mo muna
Financial
yung
plan.
different assets niya.
Yes po.
So, one asset class is insurance policies.
Yes.
How do you now manage yung insurance policies?
Mm-hmm.
Yun yung pag-uusapan natin sa Sabado.
Oh,
About life
yun
insurance
Feeling ko
trust.
yun nasa utak tayo. Iba kasi tayo, yes, marunong tayo magawa ng comprehensive financial plan, di ba? And ito, dagdag tool to na something na hindi naman, parang hindi pa siya ganun ka-solid. Ngayon, masasolidify natin sa Saturday. And a lot of people din na, yun, insurance lang ino-offer. At least alam nyo na this is something extra, this is something na talagang fulfill nyo yung wishes at yung goals ng client nyo by knowing this.
So, malalaman nyo kung bakit ba kailangan ng ILIT. Ano bang ginagawa niya? Anong value niya sa kliyente?
Yes.
Then how you start it. Diba?
Yun nga po yung... go Kuya Ryan. Go Kuya Ryan.
Insurance advisor. Lagi ko sa mga leaders ko, ano ang mangyayari pag binigay ko na yung pera? Sigurado ba na mapapakinabangan yung beneficiaries yung pera pag binigay na sa kanila yung process ng life insurance? So, sasagot yung tanong na yan, this Saturday pala, no?
This Saturday.
Yun nga po question ko.
Webinar on ILIT.
Yan po, Kuya Ryan and Sir Boyet. Gusto ko yung mag-proceed naman dito like, diba, insurance professionals, narinig na nila yung ILIT, yung Irrevocable Life Insurance Trust. And since topic natin to sa November 21, anong tingin niyo yung i-expect na nila dapat, so anong ma-expect nila from this webinar? Anong matututunan po nila, Sir Boyet?
They will understand what an ILIT is, how flexible or how restrictive it can be. Remember,
Flexible and restrictive.
sabi nga ni attorney Nick, your estate plan is either a gift or a prison.
That's true.
Diba?
Siguro shout out rin tayo sa mga listeners natin, Lui.
Yes po.
Siguro acknowledge lang rin natin yung former EVP ng Insular Life, si Mr. Jess Papilenia. Welcome, sir.
Hello po, sir.
Good evening, Sir Filenia.
Yes.
President ng AXA, nandito rin nakikinig si Homer Jose. Hi, Homer.
Hello po, Sir Homer. Hello,
Good evening, Sir Homer.
Miss Michelle Ramos Olis. So, ayan, nakakatuwa. Mag-message lang po kayo if you have questions po. Pero yun po.
Kayo mahihiyang magtanong. Pwede kayo magtanong sa
Pero ako sa Saturday. Yun na nga po muna natin yun. Gusto po natin, i-flash ko po sa kanila yung details po muna. And then we can talk more about it po. So, here, November 21, 2020, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So, Life Insurance Trust as estate planning tool. So, ano to siya? Continuing education webinar ng RFC. This is, parang ang ating mag-discuss dito is, of course, Sir Boyet. And also, ang goal dito is ma-learn yung basic trust concepts and how it can be flexible and customized tool for estate planning. So, the webinar fee is 500 pesos. And you can message sa IARFC page or register now. Nakikita niyo yung QR code ngayon sa screen. You can check it. Pero miss sila, John, ano din nila sa link below. I-comment nila para you can easily access it. Pero yun po, continue natin, Sir Boyet. Ano po yung ma-expect? So, it can be restricting, it can be flexible.
It can be a gift, it can be a
prison, yes.
And then, it can be an instrument of love or a curse.
Yeah, depending on ano.
Depende yun. I mean, sabi nga ni Jeffrey Chu, you embody the values and your love to your beneficiaries through trust, through insurance, through your will. So as financial consultants, we have to um, guide our clients to be able to go through that path, through that journey. Kasi it requires a lot of thinking, a lot of soul search. Baka may mga insights din tayo
Totoo
na
eh.
matututunan from them.
Mamaya mapaano na si Kuya Ryan bigla.
Mapaisip.
Mapaisip na. Opo. And opo. Ano po, Kuya Ryan?
Maganda talaga ang very powerful eyelid. So if you mull about it, ang dami mo pwedeng gawin for your clients. Kaya lang, kung ang financial consultant rin, kulang ang experience at saka yung skill, yun yung limitation rin nung
Yeah.
Sir Boyet. So importante talaga.
That's true.
Ay, so, si question ni Mayet, meron daw ba
Minimum or maximum?
Ay, minimum amount sa trust fund?
Yes.
Well,
Meron daw po
under
ba?
Philippine law and regulation, trust fund should not be below 100,000. But that can only be invested in government securities. So if you want to start, you can start at 100,000. Yung UITF, you start with
10,
as low
5.
as 5,000.
Yes, apo.
Diba, as low as 1,000.
Apo.
But for an eyelid to make sense for a client, siguro at least a policy that's worth 1 million.
Na yung death benefit, no? Po.
Mm-mm.
So, for eyelid. Okay. So, ang galing, no? Gusto ko yung sinabi niyo, Sir Boyd, pati ni Kuya Ryan, about usually, itong mga to, it depends sa limit nung financial advisor. Kasi, Kuya, ako, example, hindi ko siya alam, tapos papunta ako, okay, ano bang gagawin ko? Gusto ko save family ko, sasabihin ko sa'yo lahat ng goals ko. Kung limited yung tools mo, hindi mo ma-offer sa kanya lahat ng possible na pag-protect sa family mo. Like, example, insurance yung tama, di ba? Yun pa lang yung first eh. Ano ba i-offer mo? Pangalawa, applicable ba yung trust dito, di ba? Sa scenario niya. And also, ano pa bang pwedeng tools dito? So, again, yung limit nun, it depends sa financial advisor. Kasi parang ako iniisip ko, baka ibang tao, pupunta sila sa banks, katanong-tanong sila, di ba? Usually kasi ang ina-offer po, sa lahat, I mean, yung products itself lang.
Oo, yung UITF lang.
Opo, di ba?
That's why,
Opo.
importante, as RFC, you attend our continuing education seminar.
Yes, totoo po.
Because we will discuss the different tools that you can use to be able to enrich your practice and be more value for your client. That's why you keep watching out for our webinars.
Yes.
We started with estate planning under Attorney Nick, then we'll have eyelid. Later on, we'll have how artificial intelligence can help us make better investment portfolio.
Sir Boyet, may question lang ako. Just wondering, kung halimbawa ba, RFC ako, I want to introduce this eyelid to my client. Can I bring them along in the webinar this Saturday?
Sure. Oh, it's I mean, it's not just for RFC. It's for the general public to know that there are a lot of tools available for them to be able to create their financial plan. Siyempre, you are guided by your financial consultant, but learning together is the best way
That's true.
of working with your client.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yun nga din sinabi ko di ba, last time po, like, we have a lot of mentors and tayo din, we're trying to help each other. Tapos at the same time, yung clients mo, alam mo yung goals niya, so parang problem solving din yan, find ka ng best way to achieve their goals. And di mo magagawa yun kung limited yung, alam mo,
Correct.
Yes.
And importante rin for RC, not just to learn about it, but to network with different professionals,
Yeah, agree.
your fellow RFCs, so that you gain at least conversational knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So you can talk about it with a client. And then through networking, you bring your fellow associates to be able to deliver a complete package.
Uh, that's,
Okay. So, Louis, I think we still have time naman.
yes,
So,
sige.
siguro, Sir Boyet,
Excite yan.
ano ba ang plans nyo talking about the RFC?
Mm-mm.
But ayun, as I've mentioned, we are revitalizing the Philippine chapter of IARFC through emphasis on continuing education, and then second would be networking and fellowship, because you can't do it alone. You need knowledge, you need skills, and you need your fellow RFC.
Definitely.
That's why we're attracting RFC graduates to become active members. Please be active member. Pay your membership dues, because you'll be listed in the global RFC webpage as a practitioner. You will have access to a wealth of resource and white papers regarding the practice. And you, later on, RFC members will have free access to the webinars.
Oh, uy, nakaka-excite yun.
Yeah.
Uy, na-excite
Please,
ako
please,
doon.
Di ba?
Yes! Actually, oh my gosh. Perfect.
Also a sharp
Yeah, be
iron.
active.
So if we are active members, we get to hobnob with fellow members na who have a wealth of experience. Katulad ng sinabi ni Louie, ako actually kung hindi ko nakilala rin si Miss Grace, yan, si Sir Boyet, hindi naman ako magiging kung sino ako ngayon eh. Kasi from time to time I ask questions with these guys, and they accommodate. They're very helpful. Hindi sila madamot sa information. Yun yung maganda sa association natin. Diba, Sir Boyet?
Yes.
Sobrang accessible.
We share and we bring everybody up together.
Totoo yan. Grabe nga sobrang generous ng mga professors nga natin. And isa ka doon, Kuya Ryan, like, lala ko, nag-thesis ako, nag-meet kami, pero talagang si Sir Boyet, pwede namin puntahan sa Starbucks, sobrang willing siya yung consultation, maraming nagtatanong-tanong kay Sir Boyet doon. Super, grabe, ang ganda na parang we're surrounded by, parang yung mga tao din na very experienced na sa industry, marami ng clients na pinagdaanan, so kahit anong itanong mo dyan, parang sa doctors, this is your practice eh. So the more cases na
Yes.
nagiging aware ka of, which is makikita mo sa mga CEs, the more ka magaling na kahit anong harap mong client, kaya mo siyang tulungan. So yun yung na-excite ako about RFC.
In the webinars and the networking, it's like doctors discussing a case.
Yes, exactly.
A symposium, di ba?
Exactly.
So we learn from sharing experiences as well.
Kaya gusto ko yung sinabi niyo, Sir Boyet, na enhance your practice. It's yours eh. It's your business, di ba? So, dapat parang i-focus mo din yung mo sa pag-build ng knowledge base mo din sa area na yan. So, sobrang excited na tuloy ako this coming Saturday. I hope you all come. If a flash ko ulit yung event for everyone. Life Insurance Trust as a estate planning tool. Andito yung QR code. John, if you're there, paste natin yung registration andito. Thank you so much. Ako din, i-check ko. If you have questions, message kayo sa IARFC page and scan nyo yung QR to register. And also, for my fellow RFCs na watching, na tayo, let's renew na another year, di ba? Gusto ko suotin ko lang to. Proud na proud ako lagay yung name na RFC sa name ko and suotong pin na to. Like, and tayo lahat. Pride yan eh. We're all, parang inaangat natin yung RFC and ang RFC inaangat tayo. So, you have to be part of it. Huwag niyo kalimutan. So, contact niyo lang si Miss Arlene for that.
Yeah. Please get in touch with us.
Yes.
we have to let them know. Actually, supposedly when we renew our membership, nagtaas na yung US sa
Yeah,
requirement.
that's true.
But we're still under amnesty, di ba, Sir Boyet? $100
Yes,
lang.
oo.
5,000 pesos.
$100 lang to renew the membership for 2020-2021.
This is for
Take this opportunity for renewals. Yes. So if you are an RFC graduate but you have not reviewed your membership, this is the time to do it.
Yes. Excited
Oo.
to
Isa
see you. Pa?
isa rin sa mga natin yung mga inactive na members who wants to brush up on their knowledge on constructing financial plan. Meron tayong mga nakaschedule na refresher courses.
Yes.
And it's very affordable. So it's in one of in the event section of our page, di ba? Lui, tama.
Yes po.
So
I-follow niyo na lang po yung page namin.
you can get in touch with Ms. Archie.
We hold regular refresher courses kasi a lot of things are changing. If you have been following our financial forum, we're also tracking how the practice has changed, how our tools have changed. So it's good that you are an active member.
Yeah.
You get informed and you learn from different sectors as well.
Yeah, excited to connect with our fellow RFC. Sobrang thank you. Pero grabe, magsa-7 na. Sobrang parang ang bilis.
Parang ang
Ang
bilis,
bilis, di ba?
Parang
Parang nabitin ako. Parang gusto ko pang magpagkwentuhan.
Anyways, tonight we learned about yung life insurance trust, di ba? And hindi lang pala pang pangmayaman, pwede rin palang gamitin ng kuring tao yun.
Yeah.
Kasi
oo naman.
mayaman lang siya, pero it completes the work of a life insurance or the risk management portion of our financial plan. Ganun ka-importante pala yun. And if you want to make sure that your life insurance will yung kung paano gagamitin, mangyayari. Ayan, na-discuss ni Sir Boyet, di ba? Ang galing. And then, pinakamaganda doon, pwede mo palang i-extend yung buhay ng life insured through the trust to the I.
Yes.
Ganda nun.
Para sa letter na sinulat mo na, ito mangyayari sa buhay mo, ituloy mo even if wala na ako, di ba? So, ang ganda.
Parang andyan ka pa din. Di ba?
Oo. As if nakayakap sa'yo, di ba?
Ang ganda niyang gift, no? Ang ganda po niyang gift. Christmas gift.
Yeah, it's a gift,
Totoo
di ba?
po,
It's either a
yes.
gift
Opo.
or a prison.
Amazing.
It's not a prison. And it's also a good financial management tool.
Yes.
To extend your time and make sure na
Hindi lang siya a gift, it's building your legacy. Diba? Ano yung ipamamana mo sa mga mahal mo sa buhay?
Okay. So, I'm really very excited for this Saturday. I hope everybody's also excited. So, don't forget to register. The QR code has been posted. And if kung hahabol pa kayo, you can also contact Tita Arlene Baguyo for your enrollment.
Yes. Lahat po ng details nasa FB page. Ano po natin Life Insurance Trust as an estate planning tool webinar on November 21. We'll see you there and we hope to connect with more RFCs, diba? Mag-renew na tayo lahat and mag-connect tayo soon, especially ngayon online lahat, so anything's possible, diba? So, sobrang thank you, Sir Boyet, for joining us today.
You're always welcome.
We really enjoyed po. Sobrang, it's an honor to have you po. Kuya Ryan, sobrang, I love co-hosting with you po. Kuya Ryan, thank you so much.
We miss John.
Miss namin si John tsaka si Andre.
today.
Yes.
Isama internet niya.
And thank you to our producer, our producer, Miss Grace. Thank you. Yes po. Thank you everyone. If you have questions, niyo lang talaga, i-message nyo lang kami sa page and we'll be here ulit next Tuesday with John and Andre ulit. We'll see you on Tuesday. So, again, may sasabihin po ba kayo? Or we can close na po the live?
Oo. I think we can close na.
Okay, sige,
Pero,
this is it.
thank you for listening, yung kakambal ni Mother Grace, si Tita Faith.
Hello po. Hello po.
Hi, Faith.
Hello po. Okay, so sabihin ko yung famous line, tagline, pinamemorize to sa akin ni Miss Grace, diba? So, thank you again for watching RFC Tuesday Podcast. I'm Lui Baarde. I'm joined with our Ryan Daez and, of course, our President, Boyet Benavides. We're signing off. I want to remind everyone that it's better to be in the know than be the last to know.
The last to know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Okay po. Good night.
Good night.